Breaking news here on a Monday morning. The Minnesota Vikings have signed tight end Colin Thompson. My name is Patrick Seatman. Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. We're going to be breaking it down. The Vikings brought in another tight end, as we all know. Head coach Kevin O'Connell, he loves his tight ends, dating back to his days with the Los Angeles Rams. Those rosters had about 7 or 8 tight ends on them, and it's looking like the Vikings are going to be doing the same. But, guys, this is why you guys hit that subscribe button. Even if it's a minuscule move like this of them signing an undrafted tight end out of Temple, we got a video for you guys ASAP. Me and my boy Smitty hopped in the studio, dropped everything and we were doing, and we got a video out to you guys. So lock us in. We'll be your go-to Minnesota Vikings YouTube channel. Just hit that subscribe button. Completely free way to help us out. Let's break it down. Let's dive into who Colin Thompson is, and let's get to know him a little bit. So starting off, he is 29 years old. He's 6'4", 255 pounds, so a really solid tight end frame. He's more of a blocking tight end from what I've seen so far, but he did go undrafted in the 2017 NFL draft, and he did go to Temple University. So he's got good size, a little older in his NFL career, and he was undrafted out of the University of Temple. But if we're looking at this Vikings tight end room, we're starting to get a little loaded in this room so far, because obviously we know we got the 2 top dogs in T.J. Hockenson and Josh Oliver. I'll be diving into them 2 more specifically at the later half of today's video. We got guys like Munt, Nick Muse, Ellefson, and then Sims, and then obviously the newest addition to that room, Colin Thompson. And we can throw his stats up on screen right now because he has loaded up the stat sheet clearly during his NFL career with a whopping 1 reception, 7 yards, and 4 career starts in the NFL. He bounced around. He was with Matt Rule and Matt Rule and the Carolina Panthers for the past 3 seasons. And Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah saw something that they liked on his limited film and decided to bring him in. But hey, 2 targets, 1 reception, 50% catch rate. Sounds good to me for Mr. Colin Thompson. But I'll ask you guys before I kind of wrap up my thoughts on Colin, and then we're really going to dive into the tight end room specifically. And I'm going to really give my thoughts on T.J. Hockenson and Josh Oliver, because I think the Vikes have one of the more underrated tight end rooms in the National Football League. But grade the signing of Colin Thompson for me. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So YouTube, they're going to throw an ad break your way. Sit back, let it play, and give me an A, B, C, D, or F down in the comment section. I think this is a depth signing. I think there is by no means do I think Colin Thompson's going to be in the rotation of reps during the first couple of weeks or month of the NFL season for the Vikes. We know we got the 2 top dogs in T.J. Hockenson and Josh Oliver. We know what they bring to the table. But I do think Colin Thompson, I think he had some good depth to this room because injuries happen in the NFL, and you would never want to have too many tight ends. And Kevin O'Connell knows that better than anybody because dating back to his days in Los Angeles, that McVay, Kevin O'Connell coaching tree, they love their tight ends. But this is actually his career path. He's had an interesting start to his NFL career. He started off, obviously, a UDFA in the 2017 draft, but he was picked up by the New York Giants, left them, went to the Chicago Bears the following year, and at the second half of that 2017 season. But then he found himself in the XFL playing the Birmingham Iron and then the Tampa Bay Vipers during the seasons 2019 and 2020. Then obviously the past 3 seasons, a really solid rotational piece on and off the roster for the Carolina Panthers for 3 seasons, but I doubt he makes the roster. I think this is a guy where they're going to bring him in, see if he can battle in camp with the guys like Nick Muse, Ben Ellefson, see if he can maybe, crack that rotation there, but I really doubt he makes this roster. Listen, the Minnesota Vikings, they have good tight ends already, and they have the 2 top dogs. Nobody's going to touch T.J. Hockenson and Josh Oliver. They're going to be the ones that are really steering the ship in this room, and we'll focus in on those 2 because I do think the Minnesota Vikings, in terms of a tight end room as a whole, I could really make the argument that is one of the best in the NFL. Josh Oliver, in my opinion, is the most slept on. I could make the argument the most slept on player in the NFL. He is the best run blocking tight end in the league. Dating back to last year with the Baltimore Ravens, he was fantastic. He was so good in the run game. And he's also got these super soft hands, and he's also a 50-50 lob threat. He's a guy multiple times the Ravens said, if he's out there one-on-one with a corner and he just said, hey, give me the ball, I'll go 50-50, I'll go over the top and moss him, Josh Oliver, keep your eyes out on him because we're going to need him, especially next season. But then T.J. Hockenson, I think Hock is probably in that 5 to 7 range of best tight ends in the NFL. You got your top dogs, your Kelseys, your Kittles, But then besides that, I mean, you could go Mark Andrews, you could go Hawk, like I was saying. I just think overall, the whole tight end room for the Minnesota Vikings is a really slept-on group because they have the ability to pass catch, they have the ability to run block, and I do think this could be a huge help to the Minnesota Vikings running game. Colin Thompson, like he's not he didn't fill up the stat sheet from a passing perspective by any means during his NFL career with obviously only one catch so far. But, he has been a very good run blocking tight end. He's kind of been in that middle of the pack according to PFF. But the Vikings are going to need it because this running game, it was pitiful last season. And the Minnesota Vikings, how they were able to win 13 games last year with not a good run game and a terrible defense still blows my mind. But the stats from past season, I mean, when you're only running for 4 yards per carry throughout the entire season, when you win 13 games, it still shocks me. Like, it really, really does shock me because, hey, listen, you're going to be up in a lot of these games, obviously, if you're winning, and you've got to be able to run the football. And the Vikings, for some reason, could not do that consistently at all last year. I can chalk up a lot to that interior of the offensive line. Obviously, Dalvin Cook had a big home run or strikeout type of season where he was either bursting it out for an 80-yard run or he was falling at the line of scrimmage and just going back. But overall, the Vikings' run game needs to improve, and I think the additions of a Josh Oliver and now a Colin Thompson can help that because then you can run two tight end sets, which KOC loves to do. I mean, the Sean McVay tree, they've been doing it for the past 5 years, and they've been incredibly successful. So that ability to set up the play action with having those two strong tight ends, where one of them is the best blocking tight end in the league, then you have a guy like T.J. Hockenson, who's one of the best pass-catching tight ends in the league. I think the Vikings will be able to keep teams extremely on their toes this year, but they got to get better at running the ball, and tight ends play a huge factor into that, and I think they're going to be a huge help at all. But with Vikings training camp getting underway on July 29th, this upcoming Saturday, do the Vikings need to make any more moves before camp? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down in the comment section. Curious to see what you guys got to say. I still say they need to bring in a corner. I love my guys, Byron Murphy, Caleb Evans, Andrew Booth. They're all great. But the Vikings, sign a corner. That's the one move I would make. But let me know. Y for yes or N for no. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for subscribing to our YouTube channel here at Chat Sports. Any Minnesota Vikings news and rumors that come out around the team, I want to be your go-to YouTube channel. So lock us in, hit that subscribe button, help us reach 14,000 subs. Do it for the man, Brad Johnson. And we'll see you guys next time. Skol Vikes.